Hey guys, Bolt here, and welcome to the summary of. Well, it's not a proper summary like I've been doing where I just run through the context. This one will kind of be me doing a storytelling version of it. Just to kind of also do it justice, because this is probably one of my favorite uploads so far this year. We're almost closing out this year, but this just was. Um, and then we also got a few things to kind of go over at the end, like some theories, some secrets. But anyways, welcome to the summary slash storytelling. We'll be trying to do this when like a lot of YouTube releases come out, like maybe once season 2 is over of Hell of a Boss. I'll go over that in this kind of way, not all the way like this one, because this one I kind of go over the entire story for the most part. Those ones will kind of like get main story topics out of the way, and then for like more Walton Files, I'll bring this back. Mostly a lot of like internet uploads I'll do this format for, but things like movies and actual TV shows that require you to go onto like a streaming service or a movie theater, those will just get the normal summary. And then for like Nancy Drew, I'll probably also just do a normal summary for. I might do it if I really, really like the game, but anyways, let's get into this. Trying to. Let me go ahead and get my notebook. Alright, welcome to the summary slash storytelling segment of The Mysterious House and the Return of the Pumpkin Rabbit by Walton Files. Go ahead and go check out their YouTube channel. They have a whole series going. This is kind of one of their side stories that are like they take characters, but they don't do the main story here. But anyways, let's get into it. Our story starts in the town Nash Lake. Every Halloween, children go missing. 1975, Lucas Leon. In 1976, Jesse Smith. In 1977, Rex Devon. He's this fox on the right, and then his friend. And as of recently, 1978, Jonathan Bear. None have been found as of yet. Last known location was the couple who lived on a hill, far from the main roads, Lorenzo and Rachel Waterman. The couple is very festive on Halloween. They are visited as they're known to give large amounts of candy, but this is half due to the house's location. Some think they are hiding something when it comes to the missing kids. The most recent story of the kids going missing is of Tammy and Ducky. Halloween, 1979. These two tried their best to get candy, but late in the night, their buckets were not nearly full. With getting late, they try one last house. The kids meet Rachel as a witch, Billy, a clown, TVA, a jester, and Lorenzo, the pumpkin rabbit. As the legends are true, they give out a large reward for their trip. And for the memory of their visit, TVA goes ahead and takes a picture, just like the rest of the kids that came before. With the night getting late and cold, they ask the two to stay the night. With them pleading, they agree. One point in the night, Ducky leaves the room, with Tammy following after him, not returning. As she explores the house for her friend, she finds Billy standing like a statue, not replying. She finds a room of an unsettling nature. Looking into the darkness, she finds her friend in a horrifying state. Before she can flee, the pumpkin rabbit catches her. The two friends are never seen again. Years later, in 1983, a new group of friends come to the house. Ralph, dressed as Batman, second to the left. Well, the first to the left, so. I don't know. So from 1 to 4, it's 2. He's 2. So Ralph is 2. Jay the dog is 4. Dino the penguin is 3. And Paco the tiger is number 1. They venture up to the house. As they discover the house, Paco asks of the history. Apparently, after Ducky and Tammy's disappearance, the house is abandoned, but not because they moved. Tammy's sister was hiding and watched as her sister and Ducky enter the mysterious house. After never coming out, she told on the couple. With the bodies unable to be found, the police couldn't do anything, but the townspeople have had enough to bring their own justice. The kids, except for Ralph here, decide to enter the house. After looking around and seeing that the house is dark, Jay pulls out a lighter to light a pumpkin to see. With no warning, the sound of a TV and the light comes from the next room over. Turning the corner, they see Rachel in her costume, watching the TV in a chair. They bicker about not being it being abandoned, but Dino gets too loud, getting the sheep's attention. After talking to her, she asked them to retrieve candy from the kitchen, as they had. For the kitchen, Paco is called by someone to follow them. No one else around, he chooses to follow. He is led to a familiar room by a familiar face. Entering the room, before Pocky can get his bearings of his surroundings, he is locked in complete darkness, but not alone. After getting over his shell shock, he turns the light on. Outside with Ralph, he is sticking around for his friends. He loses his ball to the backyard. Going around, he comes across a picket fence with 2 statues by the gate, opening the gate to a large pumpkin patch. But of course, he's not alone. Frightened, he stays his distance from the stranger when he sees to try to be good-willed by finding his ball. But when offered it back, Paco decides to leave with ignoring this stranger. Within seconds of the sounds of footsteps start to approach, following as he begins to run, but without looking where he was going, bumping into a scarecrow. But can't sit for long as the rabbit begins to chase. In the end, it is futile as his feet get stuck in a pumpkin. The rabbit closes his distance, and catches his prey. Back with Jay in the kitchen, scared for her friends going missing, a scream is heard from outside. Feeling cornered, she hides in a nearby cupboard, but accidentally breaks the candy bowl on the counter. Waiting for a clear sign, a familiar face pops in the crack of the door, asking to leave the hiding spot, but feeling this odd, says and does nothing, for the door opens to a more unfriendly face for his own type of treat. Jay closes the door and begins to move further back into the cupboard, but to be followed in. As he closes the distance between the two, he grabs Jay's foot, but in return, she gives him a trick. To escape and running for the basement, accidentally running and falling into a friend. Dino, alive and well, has been hiding since they split up. He gives Jay a book from earlier when they were talking to Rachel. This is the Waterman's Keepsake, a photo book with the pictures filled of their victims and soon-to-be victims. After looking at the book, they find a decorated door labeled Funhouse. With nowhere else to run and hide, they enter, closing the door behind them. Something following. They find themselves in a hallway with 3 doors, 2 of which are locked. They also find a decorative record player. Entering the first room, they find a clown's scarecrow with a key inside. Before grabbing the key, a picture on the floor is found by Jay, marked 1974. Heading for the third room, they find the door has been opened and someone has entered behind them. Opening the door, Jay sees and tries to open a grated window to the outside, but falls, turning on the light. Looking around, they see mannequins with pieces of costumes and missing posters hung above them. Before gripping the situation, the light turns off, and they're left in darkness. Jay uses her lighter to see and finds out the secrets of the Waterman was. They close the door. They try to run, and they see that their exit is blocked by the rabbit. Closing the door and hide, they hear the rabbit approaching with mentions of punishment. He opens the door, and within the darkness, a familiar face is before them. This is used to lure and find them and capture them. They try to escape the grip of their capturers as Dino is being punished. Jay breaks free, knocking the mask off the rabbit. Not knowing what to do next, Jay picks up the book. Almost immediately, the rabbit asks for it. Seeing its importance, Jay burns it. The Watermans cry in rage and fear as their victims come for their justice. As the screams leave, the 2 kids embrace for a light switch to flip and the father of Jay has come to take them home. After patching up Dino, they leave, but not without a goodbye and farewell from their friends. Alright, that's my most dramatic reading. Probably never gonna do that again. I don't know how good I did there. Please leave a like if I did well. I know you could probably hear the clicks and of the keyboard and the mouse, but I'm kind of in a rush right now. Some secrets I wanted to mention, like in the beginning of the return to the Return of the Pumpkin Rabbit, you see Bond's Burgers. You also find it's pretty easy to say that Pumpkin Rabbit is like an equal to Bond. Rachel is Shaw. Billy is an actual like mascot for parties in Bond's Burgers. TVA is like the technology company's face, and then there's a few others that kind of like come back to the franchise of the Walton Files. But you do get to see certain like faces, like this is Banny. There's also this Banny that's in the room when Paco is locked in. I think it's Paco. Yeah, Ralph is the one who's outside. Paco here, locked in the room that's filled with darkness after following Ducky. There's the Banny clock. Also in the room where you see Rachel for the first time in the Return of the Pumpkin Rabbit, the sun clock makes me think of like Michael Afton's room from Sister Location. And then we also see one of the what are they called? Mannequins from the room. Which you can kind of see another one when Ralph loses his ball. Which means these are probably the kids trying to reach out to run and escape. Also, when you... this is right after telling the story of the Watermans to Paco. This is a little flash that happens for like maybe a frame. This is actually them taking a picture of them for the photo book. You'll also see the shadow figure and Bond on the wall. Here is one of the mysteries that I'd like to know. So, on top of like, it feels like in the mysterious mansion, the mysterious house, TVA and Billy are friends, but they're kind of used as like tools to lure in Tammy and Ducky and like do stuff for them. While Ducky's used in the Return of the Pumpkin Rabbit to lure Paco away. So I believe that the kids, as the photo book is used, they're under the spell. So it's very similar to like Yellow Rabbit from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, where like with one piece of creation, like, hey, this is the kids, this is their friend, the Yellow Rabbit. So because they think it's his friend, they will not attack him. But though once it is vandalized and ruined, the kids are knowing of what happened and they deem their own justice. I think that's what happened there. Also in this picture to the far left, it was very hard to get a picture of it, but this is the scene right after the kids take justice. You can see the Pumpkin Rabbit is like right here. This is Rachel. So this Lorenzo and Rachel. This is another mannequin that I seen in the background that I would like to question. It is a long-armed, long-limbed mannequin that just never gets referred to. So I think this is something else. Or someone else. But I think it might be a something. Like a Bond figure. Because there's, like, in the Walton Files, there's an outside force. This might be that outside force for this thing. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention that I didn't take a proper photo of was going back to the two statues before the picket fence for the backyard pumpkin patch. Those two are humans. Most of these are like animalistic, and those two are the only humans, except for like maybe Rachel and Lorenzo, that are in this series. I mean, I guess we have Billy, who's a clown, but it's weird that two adults, like the rest of them are just kids put on like mannequins or elongated decorations, where those two were full grown adults, being able to be tall enough to go over the picket fence. um and then here's my thing is, so in the very beginning we see Lucas Leon is from 75. And then the rest of these we do know their names from previous things. I mean, except for the hippo. I don't think we have the hippo's name. I mean, it might be in here, but these are more victims than we've seen in the past. This is more victims in the mysterious house. This is more victims that are from above the justice scene and the photo book. So it looks like the Watermans are been very busy, and it looks like based on these and this one that this might be going back to the 60s, maybe the 50s, that they've been doing this taking children thing. Like, these are siblings right here. The Genzino, Danny Wilson, like half of these people, and like horses, elephants. It's just very weird. So these are more kids we don't know the story of. So we might get told an origin of the Watermans. So we might get a third Pumpkin Rabbit to kind of get an idea of what happened with these kids. Because we only kind of see Lucas Leon. The rest of these are just so old, vintage looking. But anyways, that's it for this video. I am sorry if I underwhelming. I need to do better about editing, which with my with me getting up in videos, I can probably do this here soon. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.